Hi, today I'd like to discuss similarities between President Trump and the late President of Singapore, Lee Kuan Yew. There are, believe it or not, many similarities. And when Trump signed an executive order, I think yesterday, to make English the national language of America, I wasn't aware they didn't have one. It reminded me of Lee Kuan Yew in his early days. He was having problems with different factions, and there was no lingua franca at that time. So he chose English as the lingua franca. In education, in economics, in business, English will be the lingua franca. Of course, there were a lot of Chinese spoke Mandarin, a lot of Indians spoke Hindi, a lot of Malaysians who spoke Malay. Didn't matter. Whatever you were, you would use English as your common language. Now, of course, the majority of people do speak English, even though it's American in the States, but still making it a official language means that, of course, you don't need interpreters anymore. England's spending so much, for example, economically, interpreting about 50 languages. Well, you know, I mean, if you're coming to England or you're coming here to Indonesia, in theory, you should learn the language. So anyway, that's only one of many. So let's have a look at the rest of where Lee Kuan Yew and Donald Trump merge. The most obvious one, of course, is nationalism. Lee Kuan Yew believed strongly in Singapore. He put a lot of effort in building the brand. Similar to Trump, MAGA, Make America Great Again. His priority is for the American people. Lee Kuan Yew's priority for the Singaporean people. It really is the most basic of all tenets. And unfortunately, there are many leaders who they want to explore the world and, you know, help other. Well, I mean, help yourselves first before you can help others. So I really respect a leader who loves his country, but not only loves, he wants to do well for it. Next would be straight talking, no nonsense. Lee Kuan Yew, wow. I mean, he was very straight talking. You know, he called a spade a spade. Trump's very much the same. He wears his heart on the sleeve. Again, on a similar note, but in the same area, both have good wit and both can be humorous, spontaneously humorous, which is important. Anyone can tell a joke, but to come out with things that are funny, fantastic. Law and order, of course, is another area where both are extremely strong. Lee Kuan Yew, of course, built Singapore through strength. You can walk at midnight in Singapore, 22-year-old girl, you will be fine. Of course, the sentences are very heavy for people who break the law. And America is starting to do the right thing, deporting people who shouldn't be there. And I think we'll see a lot more from law and order in the next few years from Trump. Corruption and waste are two areas that Lee Kuan Yew certainly attacked in his first few years as Prime Minister, and Trump is well on the way to, through Doge, to attack these evils, waste and corruption. Both can bring down governments and just murder the economy. Both are very serious enemies and both should be taken as such. Anyway, I believe Trump and the late Lee Kuan Yew had the same mission here. Finally, let's look at one of my favorite subjects, education. Trump hasn't really begun in this area yet. He's been on other areas, but I think in the next 4 years, we're going to see a transformation in how America operates in education. Singapore always comes in the top 3, I think, now for educational results, and that won't change. It's got a very pragmatic approach to education. It's built in the real time, and it looks at history, how history has helped bring education as an important tool to success for not just your nation, but especially for your young people. There's no bullshit in Singaporean education. It's what it says on the tin. It states that, oh, we're all gonna die, global warming. No, it doesn't. It doesn't indoctrinate. It states facts. It puts both sides on the table. Singaporeans, and to an extent now, this is carrying on through into China, they're becoming very good critical thinkers. I so much hope, and I do believe, Trump's idea for education will follow in these footsteps. Okay, so those are my ideas on why Trump and the late Lee Kuan Yew are so similar with so many of their ideas. Thanks for watching, and as always, ba ba, don't be a sheep.